It was 21 years ago that the oil tanker Exxon Valdez ran aground in Alaska's Prince William Sound, gushing an estimated 11 million gallons of crude oil into the waters of my state. This was the worst oil spill in American history at that point. Oil hit 1,300 miles of shoreline, killed hundreds of thousands of birds and marine mammals. Beyond the lasting impact of Alaska's pristine waters and shores was a devastating impact to working Alaskans. Thousands of Alaskan fishermen and small business owners lost millions of dollars and their livelihoods collapsed. Today, to add insult to injury, Exxon fought this legitimate claims of Alaskans harmed by the spill for nearly 2 decades. The case went all the way to the Supreme Court. It was 19 years after the spill in 2008 when the court issued a final judgment in the case, reducing Exxon's punitive damages to just 10% what originally was awarded by the courts. Meanwhile, hundreds of Alaskans entitled to the damages had died. Thousands of lives were forever harmed. We in Alaska learned many lessons from the Exxon Valdez spill. One of the most important lessons was to set up from the get-go to guarantee that those affected by the spill are justly compensated. That's vital today with the tragic BP spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Legislation that I've been working on for the last several weeks would do just that. It would require BP to deposit into an escrow account held by the U.S. government enough money to compensate those affected. Doing this presents some constitutional challenges because Congress cannot pass a law specifically to affect one company. I believe my approach is constitutional because it requires oil companies who want to develop federal oil leases and gas leases to agree to be responsible for spills. In the event of a spill, the Secretary of Interior can make an assessment of outstanding liability under the provisions of the federal legislation passed in the aftermath of the Exxon Valdez, the Oil Pollution Act of 1990. The company responsible for the spill must deposit funds into a fund to be administered by the Secretary, minus the existing balance of the Oil Spill Trust Fund. The fund currently totals about $1.5 billion, which everyone agrees is inadequate to deal with the damages from the Gulf spill. There are also other pending claims against this amount already. I don't know what the adequate escrow amount will be in this case, but I do know BP must and needs to provide Americans the confidence that it is doing everything it can to make those affected by this spill whole. The company can do this by setting aside the money in this escrow account. I've been discussing the draft legislation with my colleagues, building the final piece of legislation to be introduced hopefully by tomorrow. My bottom line is this: the Americans damaged by this oil spill must be fairly compensated in a timely way, not waiting 20 years as Alaskans did. That didn't happen, as I mentioned, with Alaskans. It must happen this time. So the legislation is designed to be constitutional, create a fund, and determine based on the actual future and potential damages that then they can be fairly compensated in a timely manner.